Martha Kendrick considered herself a reasonably spiritual person, though not overly religious. She lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, a city known for its blend of Southern charm and modern bustle. She was 48, divorced, with a teenage son, and worked as a librarian, a job she enjoyed for its quiet order and the constant access to knowledge. She wasn't a regular churchgoer, but she believed in God, prayed occasionally, and tried to live a good life. She had a vague sense of unease about the state of the world, the political divisions, the environmental crises, the constant barrage of negative news, but she mostly kept those anxieties at bay, focusing on her daily routines and the well-being of her son, Daniel. She had dabbled in various spiritual practices over the years, yoga, meditation, even a brief exploration of Buddhism, but nothing had really stuck. She felt a yearning for something deeper, a connection to something beyond the mundane, but she wasn't sure where to find it. She had heard of near-death experiences, of course, and had always been fascinated by them. She read books and watched documentaries on the subject, intrigued by the accounts of people who had seemingly glimpsed the afterlife. But she never imagined that she would have such an experience herself. On a rainy Tuesday evening in October, Martha's ordinary life took a sharp, unexpected turn. She was driving home from work, listening to the radio, when a truck ran a red light and slammed into the side of her car. The impact was deafening, the world a blur of twisted metal and shattered glass. She felt a searing pain, then, nothing. She saw the airbags deploy, a white cloud filling her vision, and then, darkness. She had no sense of time, no awareness of her surroundings. She was simply, gone. Or so it seemed. The accident was severe. Her car was totaled, and Martha was trapped inside, unconscious and critically injured. Paramedics arrived quickly, working frantically to extract her from the wreckage. By the time they reached the hospital, she had no pulse. She was clinically dead. For 23 agonizing minutes, doctors and nurses fought to revive her, their efforts seemingly in vain. But Martha was somewhere else entirely, experiencing something that would forever alter her understanding of life, death, and the very nature of reality. She was about to receive a revelation that would shatter her worldview and send her on a mission of cosmic proportions. The darkness began to recede, replaced by a soft, diffuse light. Martha felt a sensation of weightlessness, of floating, of being released from all physical constraints. She was no longer aware of her body, of the pain, of the twisted metal and shattered glass. She was simply, consciousness. She felt a profound sense of peace, a tranquility that surpassed anything she had ever experienced. All her worries, all her anxieties, all her fears, they simply vanished. She was aware of a presence nearby, a loving, comforting presence that drew her towards it. She moved, effortlessly, towards the light, towards the presence, towards something she couldn't quite define. It wasn't like walking or flying. It was more like being drawn, magnetically, towards a source of immense power and love. She felt no fear, no sadness, no regret. Only peace. And a growing sense of anticipation. She knew, instinctively, that she had died. But death wasn't what she had expected. It wasn't darkness, it wasn't oblivion. It was, this. This luminous void, this feeling of unconditional love, this sense of being utterly and completely free. As she moved closer to the light, she began to discern a figure, a silhouette, a being of radiant energy. She felt a wave of recognition, a sense of homecoming, a feeling that she had known this being for all eternity. And then, she saw his face. He stood before her, radiating a light that was both gentle and immensely powerful. He was human in form, yet clearly something more. His features were both familiar and strangely unfamiliar, as if he belonged to all races and none. His eyes, in particular, held her gaze. They were pools of infinite compassion, of boundless love, of profound understanding. She felt as though he could see into her very soul, see all her flaws, all her doubts, all her fears, yet still love her unconditionally. "Martha," he said, his voice a melody that resonated within her very being. Welcome. She knew, without a doubt, that this was Jesus. Not the Jesus of stained glass windows or Sunday school lessons, but the real Jesus, the cosmic Christ, the embodiment of divine love. She felt tears welling up, tears of joy, tears of relief, tears of overwhelming gratitude. She had found him. She had found the truth she had been searching for, even if she hadn't known she was searching for him. "My Lord," she whispered, the words inadequate to express the awe and reverence she felt. He smiled, a radiant smile that illuminated the entire space around them. "You have been called, Martha," he said. "You have been chosen." Chosen? For what? She was just an ordinary woman, a librarian, a single mother. What could he possibly want with her? I don't understand," she stammered. Jesus nodded. "You will, Martha," he said. "But first, you must see. You must understand." He then began to reveal a truth so shocking, so profound, so utterly transformative, that it would shatter her previous understanding of reality and send her on a mission of cosmic significance. He began to speak of his hidden presence, his secret identity, his plan for humanity. "The world believes I am distant," Jesus said, his voice taking on a tone of quiet urgency. "That I am watching from afar, waiting to return in a blaze of glory. But that is not the truth." He paused, his eyes locking with Martha's. "I am here, Martha. I have been here, for a long time. Living among you, working among you, preparing the way." Martha was stunned. This was not the second coming she had been taught about in Sunday school. This was something completely different. "But, how?" she asked. "Where?" Jesus smiled. "I have many names, many forms," he said. "But in this life, I have chosen to walk a different path. A path of service, of preparation, of camouflage." He then revealed the most shocking part of his revelation. "I am of Vietnamese blood, Martha," he said. "Born in a land that has known much suffering, much resilience. I was brought to this country, to America, as a young man, seeking refuge, seeking opportunity." He explained that he had been living in America for decades, incognito, building a life, amassing wealth, not for personal gain, but to fulfill a divine purpose. "I am a billionaire, Martha," he said, not with pride, but with a quiet sense of responsibility. "But my wealth is not for myself. It is a tool, a resource, to be used for the good of humanity." He then spoke of a specific place, a place he had created, a place that would serve as a beacon of hope in the coming darkness. "Dragon Mountain Culture Park," he said. "Have you heard of it?" Martha vaguely recalled seeing something about it online, a sprawling complex in California, a blend of spiritual retreat, cultural center, and theme park. She had dismissed it as another New Age curiosity. "I have built this place, Martha," Jesus said. "As a sanctuary, as a refuge, as a center of light. It is a place where people can come to find peace, to find healing, to find truth." He explained that Dragon Mountain was more than just a physical location. It was a spiritual vortex, a place where the veil between the worlds was thin, a place where the divine presence could be felt more strongly. "It will become a spiritual city," he said. "A model for the new world that is to come. A place where people of all faiths, all backgrounds, can come together in unity and love." He then revealed that he had founded a new spiritual movement, a new sect, designed not to replace existing religions, but to unify them. "The religions of the world," Jesus said, "have become fragmented, divided, often used as tools of conflict rather than instruments of peace. My Father desires unity, not division." He explained that the new sect he had founded, he did not give it a specific name in the vision, was based on the core principles of all true spiritual traditions: love, compassion, forgiveness, and service to others. "It is not about creating a new dogma," he said, "but about stripping away the dogma, the rituals, the human-made constructs that have obscured the essential truth." The essential truth, he explained, was the inherent divinity of every human being, the interconnectedness of all life, and the ultimate supremacy of God, the Creator, the source of all that is. All religions, at their core, point to this same truth, he said. But they have become distorted, corrupted, used to control and manipulate people, rather than to liberate them. The new sect, he said, was designed to be inclusive, welcoming people of all faiths and backgrounds, uniting them under the banner of a single, universal God. It is not about converting people, he said, but about awakening them. Awakening them to their true nature, to their divine potential, to their connection to the source. He then spoke of a tamark, a symbol of alignment with this unified faith, a sign of protection during the coming great purification. This mark, Martha, he said, is not a physical brand, not a tattoo, not a microchip. It is a mark of the Spirit. It is a symbol of your commitment to love, to truth, to unity. He explained that those who bore this mark would be protected, not necessarily from physical harm, but from the spiritual darkness that would engulf the world during the coming tribulations. It is a mark of inner transformation, he said. A sign that you have chosen the path of light, that you have aligned yourself with the divine will, that you have surrendered to the love of God. He emphasized that receiving this mark was not a passive act, but a conscious choice, a commitment to live in accordance with the principles of the unified faith. It requires a change of heart, Martha, he said. A willingness to let go of your ego, your pride, your self-righteousness. A willingness to embrace humility, compassion, and forgiveness. He then described the nature of the coming great purification, the cataclysmic events that would reshape the world. The earth, Martha, Jesus said, his voice filled with a profound sadness, is in need of cleansing. Humanity has strayed far from the path of righteousness, from the path of love, from the path of unity. He showed her visions of the future, images of devastation and upheaval, of natural disasters and social chaos. It was a terrifying picture, a world consumed by darkness. Many countries will sink beneath the waves, he said. The oceans will rise, and the land will shift. The earth will rotate with a violence that will reshape its surface. He showed her coastlines being inundated by massive waves, cities crumbling into the sea, continents being torn apart. It was a vision of apocalyptic proportions. Places near the sea will become land, he said. And places that are now land will become sea. The world will be transformed, reshaped, cleansed. He emphasized that this great purification was not a punishment, but a consequence. A consequence of humanity's greed, its violence, its separation from God. It is a necessary process, Martha, he said. A painful but ultimately transformative experience. It is the only way to break the cycle of darkness, to create the conditions for a new era of peace and harmony. He explained that the physical upheavals were a reflection of the spiritual turmoil, the battle between light and darkness that was raging within the hearts of humanity. The earth is mirroring the inner state of humanity, he said. The chaos without reflects the chaos within. He stressed that the purpose of the great purification was not to destroy humanity, but to awaken it. To shake it from its slumber, to force it to confront its shadow self, to choose a different path. Those who survive, he said, will be those who have chosen love over fear, unity over separation, humility over pride. They will be the seeds of the new world, the builders of the new era. He then explained in more detail the nature of the tamark, and how it would offer protection during these tumultuous times. The mark, Martha, Jesus reiterated, is not a physical thing. It is a spiritual reality. It is a state of being. He explained that the mark was, in essence, the indwelling presence of the Holy Spirit, the divine light that resides within every human being, but which is often obscured by ego, fear, and attachment to the material world. To receive the mark, he said, is to awaken to your true nature. It is to realize your connection to God, to all of creation, to me. He described it as a vibrational alignment, a resonance with the divine frequency, a conscious choice to live in accordance with the principles of love, compassion, and unity. It is a shield, Martha, he said. A shield of light that will protect you from the darkness. It will not necessarily prevent physical harm, but it will preserve your soul. It will guide you, protect you, and sustain you through the coming trials. He explained that the mark was not something that could be earned through good works or religious observance. It was a gift, freely given to those who sincerely sought it, who opened their hearts to God's love and grace. It is received through faith, Martha, he said. Through surrender, through humility, through a willingness to let go of your ego and embrace the divine will. He emphasized that the mark was not exclusive to any particular religion or belief system. It was available to all, regardless of their background, their beliefs, or their past actions. All who seek me with a sincere heart, he said, will find me. All who call upon my name will be saved. All who choose love over fear will receive the mark of protection. He explained that the process of receiving the mark involved a conscious turning inward, a commitment to self-examination, a willingness to confront one's own shadow self, and a sincere desire to live in accordance with the divine will. It is a journey, Martha, he said. A journey of transformation, a journey of awakening, a journey of return to your true home. He described going to Dragon Mountain Culture Park as a form of final call. He then gave Martha her mission, the reason she was being sent back to the world. You must return, Martha, Jesus said, his voice filled with a profound sense of urgency. You must share what you have seen and heard. You must warn the people. He knew that her message would be met with skepticism, with ridicule, with outright disbelief. But he also knew that it was essential, that time was running out, that humanity needed to be awakened before it was too late. Tell them about my hidden presence, he said. Tell them about Dragon Mountain. Tell them about the new sect, the unified faith, the mark of protection. He emphasized that her message should not be one of fear, but of hope. A message of warning, yes, but also a message of invitation, a message of opportunity. Tell them that the great purification is coming, he said. But tell them that it is also a time of great opportunity. An opportunity to awaken, to transform, to create a new world. He stressed the importance of finding him, of connecting with him, of receiving his mark. He explained that Dragon Mountain was a focal point, a place where his energy was concentrated, a place where people could more easily connect with his presence. He presented this as the final call. Tell them to come to the mountain, Martha, and to find me within their hearts, he said. Tell them to seek me with all their hearts, all their souls, all their minds. Tell them that this is the final call, the last opportunity to choose the path of light. He assured her that she would not be alone, that he would be with her, guiding her, protecting her, empowering her. Do not be afraid, Martha, he said. For I am with you always. And the truth will prevail, even in the face of darkness. He placed his hand on her forehead, and she felt a surge of energy, a wave of love and power that washed over her, filling her with strength and courage. Go now, Martha, he said. And be my voice. Be my hands. Be my heart. The time is now. She felt herself being pulled back, away from his presence, away from the radiant light, away from the profound peace. She was falling, tumbling, spiraling back into the darkness. The last thing she saw was his compassionate face, and the last thing she heard was his voice, echoing in her mind. Find me, Martha. And help others find me. Before it is too late. The return to her body was jarring and disorienting. Martha woke up in a hospital bed, surrounded by blinking monitors and the concerned faces of her son, Daniel, and the medical staff. They were astonished by her recovery, calling it a miracle, a medical impossibility. She had been clinically dead for 23 minutes. But Martha knew it was more than a miracle. It was a divine intervention, a second chance, a mission. She was profoundly changed by her experience. The anxieties and concerns that had once consumed her now seemed trivial, insignificant. She had seen the bigger picture, the cosmic reality, the urgency of the times. She tried to explain her experience to Daniel, but he was skeptical, attributing it to oxygen deprivation, hallucinations, the trauma of the accident. He loved his mother, but he couldn't comprehend what she was saying. The medical staff was equally dismissive, suggesting she seek psychological counseling to process her near-death experience. Martha quickly learned to be selective about whom she shared her story with. She knew that most people would not believe her, that they would dismiss her as crazy, delusional, or a religious fanatic. But she also knew that she couldn't remain silent. She had been given a message, a warning, a mission. And she was determined to fulfill it, no matter the cost. She started a blog, writing about her experience in veiled terms, focusing on the spiritual principles Jesus had taught her, the importance of love, compassion, unity, and inner transformation. She began to research Dragon Mountain Culture Park, learning everything she could about it. She discovered online communities of people who were drawn to the place, who felt a spiritual connection to it, who claimed to have had profound experiences there. She felt a growing sense of urgency, a conviction that she needed to go to Dragon Mountain, to find the man Jesus had revealed himself to be, to receive his mark, to prepare for the coming great purification. She knew that her journey would be challenging, that she would face opposition, skepticism, and even ridicule. But she was no longer afraid. She had seen the truth. She had heard the call. And she was ready to answer it. The story ends with Martha preparing for her journey to Dragon Mountain, filled with a mixture of trepidation and unwavering determination. She knows that the world is on the brink of major change, and she is committed to doing her part to help humanity awaken to its spiritual potential and navigate the coming tribulations. She is a messenger, a witness, a warrior of light, ready to fulfill her mission, even if it means standing alone against the darkness. The final call has been sounded, and Martha is heeding it, urging others to do the same.